Let me ask you something real quick. What if I told you that a lot of people don't overpay taxes because they're irresponsible? They overpay because they simply don't know what they're allowed to deduct. What would you think about that? Every year, billions of dollars get left on the table legally. And today, I'm breaking down 5 tax deductions that most people miss. And I'll tell you why they matter and how they quietly separate people who file taxes from people who plan and strategize taxes. Stay with me, especially if you think you already know this stuff. What's going on, everybody? I'm Jonah. I'm an infinite banking educator, and I'm one of the co-founders here at the Banking Bros. And around here, we talk about the way that money actually works. That's what the entire channel is about. It's not the way that money is usually explained. So in today's video, it's actually based on a recent article that I found highlighting 5 commonly missed tax deductions. So I'll put the link in the article in the description. But before we get into it, there is absolutely nothing illegal. There's absolutely nothing aggressive or pushing the line. It's just deductions that the tax code already allows, that most people, in my opinion, either overlook or they misunderstand. And so today I'm just gonna break it down for you in plain English. And then I'll show you the bigger picture that most people never really zoom out to look at. So let's get right into it. First, a quick tax foundation. The article actually starts with that too. It's a really important distinction. There are above-the-line deductions. Above-the-line deductions reduce your adjusted gross income, and they can be used even if you take the standard deduction. Then there's below-the-line deductions. These only apply if you itemize. Most people are taking the standard deduction and they stop thinking right there. And that's actually where a lot of money quietly disappears. The first deduction I want you to pay attention to is medical expenses. Now, this one doesn't actually apply to everyone, but when it applies, it can be super meaningful. If your unreimbursed medical expenses exceed 7.5% of your adjusted gross income, you might be able to deduct them. That will actually include your doctor's visits, your hospital stays, your prescription medications, certain home modifications, even mileage and airfare for medical costs. And this comes straight from the IRS publication 502. Now, most people hear this and they immediately say, yeah, but I probably don't qualify. And that may be true, but the issue is most people never actually check. And when medical costs spike, they spike really fast. You probably know that if you're on one of the government-sponsored plans this year. Deduction number 2, child and dependent care credits. This one actually gets missed constantly, so let me break it down. If you are watching this video and you pay for daycare, for preschool, for babysitters, or care for qualifying dependents so that you can work, that's important, this credit may apply. So here are the basics. The kid, the child, must be under 13 years old, must live with you more than half the year. You must have earned income. If you're married, both spouses have to have earned income. The maximum there is $3,000 for one person, $6,000 for 2 or more. And this does phase out higher income levels, but again, people assume they don't qualify and then they just move on without actually checking. You should check. The third one is student loan interest. This one actually is the most simple one in my opinion. It's so simple, it's surprising, and yet it's still missed. If you paid interest on qualified student loans, you may be able to deduct up to $2,500 per year. This is an above-the-line deduction, which means you can take it even if you don't itemize. So this is gonna apply to federal loans, to private loans. It applies for yourself, it applies for your spouse, it applies for your dependents. It's not life-changing on its own, but if you stack it with some of the other deductions, then it can really add up. And again, a lot of people miss that. Okay, you ready for the 4th one? State sales tax. No, so I'm not talking about state income tax, state sales tax. This is one most people never actually even think about. If you itemize deductions below the line, you itemize deductions, you can deduct state income tax or state and local sales tax, but you can't do both. You have to actually just choose the higher one. This is especially relevant if you live in a state with no income tax, right? Or if you made large purchases like cars, appliances, renovations, right? You can either, you track your receipts, or you can use the IRS sales tax deduction calculator. And most people default to the income tax without actually even running the comparison. So you should check. The very last one I want to talk about in this video is your home office deductions. Now this one's more misunderstood than it is missed. Let me break it down for you. If you work from home and you have a space that is used exclusively, regularly as your principal place of business, you may qualify. Now there's 2 methods. The first is the simplified method. It's $5 per square foot up to 300 square feet. The second is the regular method. You deduct a percentage of actual home expenses, and that can include mortgage interest, rent, utilities, insurance, repairs, depreciation, all sorts of stuff. The big mistake people make is trying to stretch this, right? If the space is shared, right? It's a bedroom plus a desk, then probably you're disqualified. You can't do it. All right, I promised it, so now here it is. Let's zoom out for a second, because here's what the article is actually about. Hear me, the tax code isn't just a bill, it's actually a map. Most people treat taxes like a once-a-year event, right? They fill it out, they file it, they hope for the best. But the tax code is actually a set of incentives. It rewards work, it rewards family care, it rewards business ownership, health expenses, certain behaviors. Congress wants to encourage people to keep more of the money, right? And the people who keep more of their money, they're not cheating, they're planning. Deductions don't create wealth, but they do preserve it. And this is important because deductions don't make you rich. They just stop unnecessary leakage. You gotta think of it like a bucket. Income fills your bucket, taxes drain it. Taxes has a hole at the bottom, and most people just focus on filling up the bucket more and they never actually even look for the holes. I think that every dollar you unnecessarily send to the IRS is a dollar that cannot grow. It cannot compound. You've lost it. It's a dollar that cannot create liquidity, a dollar that cannot protect your family. Tax efficiency isn't aggressive, it's just intentional. And it's one of the first places that high income and wealthy people or families get organized. So here's your takeaway. Most people don't miss deductions because they're careless. They miss them because no one ever taught them how the system actually works. We surely didn't get that in school. These 5 deductions are not loopholes. They are already in the tax code. The real question is whether or not you're using the system, or if you're letting the system use you. If you want help building a financial system that you control, not just reacting to tax season once a year, then you've got to click the link in the description of this video. Book a call with us here at the Banking Bros. We'll walk you through it step by step. And if this video helped you think differently about taxes, then make sure you're subscribed, because this conversation is just getting started.
To the Banking Bros, said we couldn't make it, 3 cups settled, this the life we chose. Gave a lot of game, we never got a lot of things. Bow your head and say the prayer, we taught you how to be the bank.